if you were to explain to somebody who you are, like, who is Afdhel?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me here in Whistler. We're having a great time here at this conference. So, who is Afdhel? I'm a proud Sri Lankan. I was born in Sri Lanka and lived the first couple of decades of my life. I've lived around the world in London, New York, and now Los Angeles. I'm a husband and a father. I have a 5-year-old son and a wonderful wife, Rukshana, back home in LA. I used to think about myself as a marketer, a marketing person. But gradually that's changing, and I've got a new word, which is a story catcher.
Okay, nice.
And it's different to a storyteller, though that's also something about what I do. But I'm realizing the thing I really like doing is finding stories in the world that are inspiring and that can show a path forward. And I love going out and meeting people and going to places where I can see those stories come to life. And then my job is to translate those stories into articles, talks, ideas, conferences, TV shows, which have a very clear purpose, which is to inspire people to take action to help make the world a better place. So Story Catcher is my new title on my business card now.
I like that. So coming to this idea about the stories, so your big thing now is good is the new cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you were, like, imagine I'm the CEO of a big corp, and I want to understand what's really behind that. Like, can you help me to understand why good is a new cool for me?
Sure, yeah. Well, that's the title of the book that I wrote with my friend and partner in business, Bobby Jones. It came out in 2016. The full title was Good is the New Cool, Market Like You Give a Damn. Uh-huh. And at that point, when we wrote the book, we were both marketing professionals for 20 years. And what we realized was we had spent a lot of time helping brands be cool. And what we realized was that doing good was becoming its own form of cool. And so that's why the title of the book is, especially for us, it was more interesting than, making brands cool. Mm-hmm. It's important to say that we don't think that this is a trend, though. Uh-huh. Cool is oftentimes a temporary thing, right?
Yep.
What we are now seeing 3 years after the book came out is this idea of business as a force for good now really transforming capitalism. And we see it happening because of 3 major shifts that are happening out there in society. The first is the shift of consumers who want to buy products and services from companies that are doing good in the world. So it used to be that, you judge a company based on their product and their price. Now it's also their purpose. Like, what are the values this company has? How is it tangibly helping the world become a better place? Mm-hmm. The second trend is around employees who now increasingly want to work for these companies. They want to feel like their lives have meaning. And so we say the new normal is purpose and a paycheck. You have to make sure that they're paid well and given benefits, but you also have to show them how their work ladders up to something more powerful than just making a quarterly profit. And the third shift is investors.
Okay.
And what you're now seeing is the rise of impact investing, ESG funds, hundreds of billions of dollars, now looking for places to put that capital in a way that generates not just financial returns, but also social impact as well. And so those 3 things are tectonic shifts for the modern day CEO to think about. And it's going to be as disruptive as the arrival of digital was to business as usual. And so a lot of our work is now helping these brands and companies prepare for this revolution that's coming and future-proof themselves so that they're ready for this kind of new approach to business. So I think we're just at the beginning of this journey, but I think it's going to be hugely disruptive to the way business conducts itself.
Let's try to challenge that. That has been there for a long time. Yeah, we need good stuff for planet Earth. CSR is nice, etc. So imagine my CFO comes here and say, "What are you doing, guys? Like shifting the company?" No, just do some cosmetics.
Yeah.
So your message is much more profound. Like we're naked businesses for the inside, for the outside.
Yeah.
We should better focus on that as a whole big strategy, converging all our forces on that.
Yes.
That would be the message.
Absolutely. It's funny. So I started this journey in marketing, and that's where a lot of bullshit happens.
Yeah.
Right. There's a lot of
You said it.
purpose washing, woke washing, greenwashing. There's a lot of companies saying, "Hey, we're doing good," but they're just doing some horrible, evil stuff somewhere else. Right. I think we're living in an age of radical transparency, where people can look right into a company and go, "That's rubbish. You're not actually doing what you're saying you're doing." And so I think the companies that are succeeding in this space are the ones who embrace that idea of radical transparency and understand how they need to do more than just pay lip service to it. And it's interesting you mentioned things like CSR and sustainability. There's a really interesting parallel in the way companies adopted those things in the same way they adopted digital, right? So if you think about how 10 years ago digital to a company was, we have a website, right? 5 years ago it was, we have social media. But now digital is everywhere inside a company, right? 10 years ago, doing good in a company was, that's the CSR department. They're the ones who do the good. 5 years ago, it was, no, we have a sustainability strategy. But today, this idea of purpose as kind of an umbrella to talk about this is increasingly in every aspect of business, right? It is in your supply chains. Do you have an ethical, sustainable supply chain? It is in your product innovation. Are you making products responsibly in a way that's good for people and the planet? It's in HR. How are you attracting and retaining employees and keeping them engaged and motivated? It's in finance. It's in looking at how you take advantage of all this capital flooding into the marketplace. So it's moving beyond the ephemeral into something that's much more transformative as well. But what you need as a CEO is to really take it seriously. And that's really what separates the companies who I think are doing a great job, the Microsofts, the Airbnbs, the Teslas, from the ones who are just kind of playing in the margins. The ones who are really embracing it, they unleash what we call the purpose flywheel. And we're writing about this in kind of our next book, The Follow-Up to Good is the New Cool. And the purpose flywheel is when you have a company which has a clear purpose and people understand how it's helping society, people want to come and work for that company. And then when the company empowers them to bring their whole selves to work and find ways to empower them, they're the ones who come up with innovative ways for growth to happen. And they work harder for that company, which then generates more revenue, which allows the company to do more good. And that flywheel is really what you see some of these purpose-driven brands creating in a wonderful way.
So I think, just to rephrase what you're saying, like, so today firms, corps, are like living in this real-time, transparent world where everything is like transparent in real time, and trust is a core asset. So inner trust with your employees, outer trust with the world. I would say not even the consumers. And this is what we should cultivate, and good is a foundation for that. Actually, this world of abundance is bringing us this new paradox. So AI could be the best or the worst. Imagine like, eventually it's Maslow's pyramid. Nobody needs to work anymore. So we can spend our days enjoying life, enjoying our families, etc. Or humans could be the new horses. Like we all know how horses were hacked by previous industrial revolution. So we can be like moving to the humans can have full happiness, or humans need not apply. So this paradox around abundance. Your vision on that?
I'm a huge fan of the theory of abundance, and there's a chapter in the book that we're writing next, which is abundance is the new sustainability. And when we apply that to businesses, what we are saying is it's no longer enough to replace what we broke. We have to restore. We have to go beyond, right? And so the new benchmark for a business shouldn't be, we just got back up to what we are taking. It should be to actually repair. And what's fascinating is seeing examples of that pop up everywhere in business, right? So IKEA is now generating more power than it uses. There are companies which are like Burger King and McDonald's who are leading a revolution in plant-based foods, which can only be good in terms of its impact on climate change. So what's giving me hope is all of these different kind of green shoots of abundance which are popping up as companies realize actually it's also a really great business model.
Yep.
You know, I think when it comes to human flourishing, and it's interesting you mentioned, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Do you know what's at the top of that pyramid that Maslow added before he died?
What?
He added this thing called self-transcendence.
Really?
And it's in 1968, he added this thing which said the top of the pyramid is no longer self-actualization. It's self-transcendence because that's when the pyramid stops being about you. And self-transcendence is about service to other people.
Giving back.
To your family, to your community, to your country, to your planet, right? And that's the highest point of human evolution. And so I hope that all of these abundant technologies will free up people to have time to not worry about, where food is coming from. And I hope that they'll see the top of that pyramid as then not a place to relax and just be self-indulgent, but aim for that top of the pyramid so that they can be of service.
Yep.
Because that is really going to be the salvation, I think, of society if people get out of the me and into the we.
Just to close maybe this amazing conversation with you, Afdhel, so I will use another metaphor like Harry Potter. Imagine like this is a magic wand. I give it to you, you take it.
Yeah.
This magic wand has this superpower to help you change anything you want on planet Earth, but just one thing.
Yeah.
So what would you change?
I would change, I would make the fossil fuel industry disappear.
Okay.
And I know it's controversial to say that here in Canada, but there's $22 trillion worth of oil and gas and coal in the earth. All I know is that if that 22 trillion comes out, we are dead.
Yep.
We're dead as a species. We're dead as a planet, right? So if I could wave a magic wand, it would be figuring out how to get the energy industry to realize that they can make $44 trillion through clean energy and renewables and finding a way to evolve into a more sustainable, cleaner energy future. Because I think that's the nervous system that is wired into this planet. And I think that if we can change that without all the pain that's going to happen, that might give us a fighting chance to be around for a longer period of time.
So for you guys, our audience, I think when Afdhel says dead, it's like no P&Ls, no balance sheet, no stock markets, no anything. So that's really substantial and important.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
It was
Mark.
a real pleasure and privilege to have you.
Same
Thank
here.
you.
Pleasure to meet you, Mark. Thank you. Okay.